So,
I'll hand over to you, Jen.
KJ, I do want to thank UiPath for sponsoring us today. KJ, if you can tell us a little bit about, I've heard a little about robotic process automation. Can you describe what that is for UiPath?
Sure. Yeah. And I actually have a demo here that I'll play here in a moment. I'll take over the screen, but I just kind of want to leave this up just for, the little plug about UiPath. But robotic process automation is the concept of automating the mundane tasks that anyone performs. So if we look at the history, and Dan, you would actually help me come up with this cadence. So thank you. Before, from user interface scripts, right? You'd create this little button in some sort of module, some application, and it would perform a specific script. As we moved along, and as you can see, we started to get to that screen scraping, the UI automation. It took form in macros and so on and so forth, and developing those scripts. But what happened is that there were all these packaged little scripts that eventually we said, well, what if we package all those up and allow people to define their own parameters? And that's exactly what RPA software does, and UiPath is no exception. And as you see here, right, we've obviously got our Series F. We're public. We're #1 in Gartner and Forrester and all that. And our whole goal is to really bring a robot to every person's machine. But at the highest level, it's just automating mundane tasks and if then else logic on a person's machine. And to show you what that looks like, let me just run my thing here and we'll continue the conversation. And then there we go. So what you're looking at, my little robot, I got something that's performing a data entry, data scraping exercise, going to go to a website, scrape some data down. And I actually think it fits into this analytics conversation a lot.
Well, that's actually what I'm going to ask. How does that fit in with the analytics area, KJ?
Yeah. So what I've really noticed is that with analytics, and it seemed like it was talked about a lot on this conversation, and it was a lot around like transforming the data. How do we make sure that data is ingested properly, so on and so forth. So if we look at like this first one, what ETL tools used to manage DW, it could literally be our stuff. Like that's kind of where this stuff fits in. And it's very funny because what you're seeing here is this is just if then else logic. I'm going to go through every month, see if an Excel is downloaded. If it's downloaded, download the Excel, rinse and repeat, and so on and so forth. So as you look at how that fits into analytics, and I think there were some questions here as well on top of that around like validating the artifacts from OAC to OBIEE. Well, what you probably know is where the data is supposed to match, and you know how to get data from OAC, and you know how to confirm the data in OBIEE. So is it possible, because in your head, if you were going to do it manually, wouldn't you write some logic to be like, oh, this value, it has an AX in the beginning and it's supposed to be AX on this side. Couldn't you just write an if statement? Yes. That's what our tool does. And it bridges the gap between that. So as I see how we fit into analytics, we're not providing the analytics. We're helping you make sure that you can extract and transform and load the data properly to make sure you're actually getting the proper results with your analytics in an automated fashion, assuming you know what that is. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, let's scrape bad data, because everyone knows bad data is going to give you a bad result. But if you know how to clean that data, use our stuff to automate it. And that's what you're seeing here on the screen. It's just if then else logic.
So we could use this to just download a bunch of data if there's something where the OAC product, you have to download this, then go to this tab, download this, then go to this tab, download this, and this is all just running automated?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And okay. I promise you it would probably work. Yeah, and it's always one of those seeing is believing, which is exactly why I'm showing you. This is a website. It's just scraping through, and as you can see, it's changing. It's renaming this, so on and so forth. If you know that logic, I can help educate you, and all of us would be able to. And there's tons of practitioners in any RPA software, not just UiPath, to teach you how you would do that. We just happen to be best in breed because what the crux is, remember, our name's UiPath. If you have a backend integration, fantastic. We're not going to say don't do that. But there's going to be a point when you need to actually interact at the user interface level. And then you're going to start to see what capabilities does the tool have. We've been proven to be best in breed in the market to be able to do that and transform your data to whatever you need to do.
So KJ, a question came in. What programming language is used to automate this?
Yeah, this is actually written on VB. So if we want to take a look. Yep, Visual Basic. So if you want to take a look behind the code, the individuals who wrote the Windows Workflow Foundation also helped write the software. So it looks very similar in that sense. So yeah, so it's VB on a back. So if you're going to write like an expression to like loop through a data table, for example, and then through that data table, let's say you're going to like grab a first row of data, it's row.item to string. You can also do that with C# expressions as well. Looks like my automation just broke and it's resetting itself, so that's fun.
That's actually what I wanted to get to.
Yep.
So we're gonna go on, but thanks for sharing that and thanks for sponsoring us today.
Yeah,
Really
no problem.
appreciate it.
Happy to. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well,
I'll answer that in the chat. Yep.
okay. Yeah. Take care of any questions people can ask. But
For sure.
thanks, KJ.
Happy to help.
I'm gonna pause here for just a moment.
So, yeah,